our entire effort of becoming the person we know we need to become is successful or not successful to the degree that we align ourselves with truth. And I've been realizing that we all have a very complicated relationship with truth, sometimes even an abusive relationship with truth. Because often, and many people almost always, put truth below their wishes and desires and hopes and dreams and opinions and beliefs. They don't put truth first. They put it second, third, fourth, or don't even consider it at all. When we all know about truth and we want to be aligned with truth because we want to be true, we want to be right, we want to be correct. But when we look for truth, when we want to get the help of truth, when we ask, is this the right thing to do? Should I continue to do this? And we go and consult with truth. We often don't ask the question whether we should want what we want, but how truth might support what we want. In other words, we're just looking for self-confirmation. When we look for truth, often we're not looking for truth, really. We're looking for self-confirmation. We're looking for our truth. We're looking for truth to overlap with our desires, but priority is giving to the desires, not to truth. And so we look to truth to see if it will support us, if it aligns with us rather than if we align with it. And we're just trying to justify the desires, actions, hopes, dreams, beliefs, opinions that we already have. We want to have truth, but we also want to have these beliefs. And if we can only have one of those two, we often choose beliefs over the truth. And all our anger in life, all our frustration, all our anxiety, all our disillusionment, all our resentment comes from that difference between our beliefs and acts and thoughts and truth. To the degree that they do not align is the exact degree that we are frustrated, angry, and resentful. If you ever need proof of this, look at your own hopes and wishes and dreams. For example, in any country, I'm sure at any given year, there's some sort of election on some level. And the whole point of an election is to make real the person's candidacy and their eventual election to whatever position they're looking to get. We're trying to make that real. We're saying, I want to see person A's position become real. And so we go vote for person A or person B or whatever it is. We want to see that in the world. And therefore we vote for it. And that's fine, and that's what it's for. But look at your own reaction, at your own thoughts, your own emotions, when the person that you voted for, the person that you wanted to see become real, essentially, in this particular way, did not become real. When the result is different than what you voted for. It is that anger and resentment and frustration, perhaps, and disillusionment that you might feel, you don't have to feel it, that you might feel, is a dead giveaway. that you were not putting truth first, but that person's career first, that candidate first, your hopes and dreams and wishes that you were trying to get out of this person's candidacy first. And then, on the other hand, there are people who align themselves with truth and still go voting. And when they vote and when their candidate does not win the election, they don't become angry. They don't become frustrated. They don't become resentful because they're aligned with truth. Truth comes first. And some people say, who knows what the truth is? And for some reason that gives them the belief that we shouldn't even look for it, or there's no point in doing so, or that it's all relative and subjective. I don't really find that to be the case. Of course, we don't have perfect insight into truth at all times, or maybe never even. However, truth is nothing other than reality. Think about it in that way. Everything that is currently happening in the world, is true because it's reality. If it's really happening in the world, it's reality, and reality necessarily is truth. There's no reality that is not truth. And so if we want to see something in the world, if we want to look for truth, if we want to know what truth is, all we have to do is look outside, look out in the world, and see what the reality is. Reality is the candidate that we voted for did not win, or did win, whatever the reality is. And that's what's truth. That's the truth. And so to say, this is wrong, this is bad, is to be misaligned with truth. Because truth is simply there. Because reality is simply there. There's no judgment to be made about it. And to be resentful, to be angry, to be disillusioned by reality is the sign that we have not aligned ourselves with truth, that we did not put truth first. Because if we would have put truth first, we would welcome anything that happens in reality for the very fact that it's reality. In a fight between us and reality, reality is always going to win, 10 times out of 10. And to accept and even welcome everything that reality presents us, everything that is truth. To welcome this is simply nothing other than seeing reality, just to see it. It is happening, therefore it's real, therefore it's reality, and everything that's reality is truth. And for the same reason, the biggest obstacle that remains between us and the person who we know we need to become is our misalignment with truth and reality. Whenever we feel any kind of judgment about something, again, good or bad, but most harmful are, I suppose, the more negative judgments of, I hate this shouldn't be like this, I don't accept this, I don't agree with this. When we say all these things, we say, I don't agree with reality. I don't agree with truth. And again, 10 times out of 10, we're going to, if we oppose truth 10 times out of 10, we're going to lose. And therefore, to oppose reality, oppose truth, is to feel anger, to be bitter, to be disillusioned, to be frustrated, to be depressed in many ways. And all we need to drop these things is to align ourselves with truth, and not only in a second, third, fourth position, but to put truth first. before our desires and wishes and hopes and dreams and opinions and beliefs and plans and needs and wants. If you put truth first, we will always accept and welcome and feel no bad thing about anything that happens, about anything that is reality, about anything that is truth. And this can be very difficult, like we said in earlier talks. It's not easy. It's certainly not easy. It might even be the hardest thing we've ever done. But it is simple. Because what's simpler than to simply accept what is real? What is simpler than to get rid of the notion of, if I stick my head in the sand, the problem will go away? What's simpler than to just look at reality and the truth and to see it for what it is? That's the only thing it is. There's nothing else that it requires for us to be aligned with it. Just to see it. Everything else falls into place automatically. And so I urge us to think about this week, about all the things that we feel resentful about, that we hate, that we're angered by, that we're displeased and disillusioned by, and to simply see that they're reality, whether we like it or not. And that reality is truth. And that to go against truth and reality is a life that's like hell on earth. And to think about that we should not make a habit of going to truth and to only look to confirm what we already want to believe, but instead to go completely open-minded and to say, whatever truth is, that's what I want. And sometimes we'll have to come to the realization that what we're trying to offer to the world, it might be a business, it might be a friendship, it might be anything that we have set our hearts and minds to, that we might have to realize the world has no need for it. The world doesn't want it. The world doesn't need it. And that no amount of arguing with truth and to be selective about truths, just to build a narrative in which we are justified, we are right, is just a life of pain and misery, which is completely self-induced. That we're just trying to justify an existence, an idea, a thought, a belief, a business, any relationship, anything outside in the world that we want to have for selfish reasons that are neither rational nor truthful nor are aligned with reality. And therefore, to become the person we know we need to become, we must put truth first and not ask for it to justify us, but to ask how we can justify ourselves to it.